Good morning. I'm so excited today to introduce you to my friend, Andree Miller. I first met Andree at a conference where I was speaking, and she said she wanted to meet me, and I happened to be near her hometown, I think. And she walked in, and it was so sweet to find a fellow blogger, because we met online, I guess, and in person. We bloggers, we have lots of friends that we've never met and that we won't meet. But what a thrill to know someone in California who blogs, a Christian blogger, and she is delightful and has written a few books, and she is also a great speaker. So, and originally from Jamaica, is that right?
I'm originally from the Bahamas.
Oh, Bahamas. So
My
sorry.
husband is from Jamaica.
I see.
My parents are from Barbados.
Okay.
All of that. So I'm an island girl.
I love it. Andree, tell me a little bit about your family and your background, and then how you got into ministry.
Okay, here goes. So my name is Andree Miller. However, on these here internets, you'll see me under another name, Nylse Esahc, because that's the name I started blogging under. I blog over at lifenotesencouragement.com. And I started blogging because after my brother died, it was the first time in our family we had experienced the loss. And everyone, I come from a large family, and everyone was dealing with it differently. And I found that when I wrote, it was cathartic, it was healing. And I just started the blog on a whim. Amazingly enough, people were reading what I was writing. And in a short period of time for me, not that I'm ever over his death, but I wasn't grieving so deeply. And I said, the common theme here is that the Lord has encouraged me as I write. And if this is encouraging to others, I want to keep writing in that vein. And so that's really how I started blogging. I'm a Christian wife and mother. I got saved when I was 8, but I really came to know the Lord when I was maybe 15. My story is very, very boring. I never backslid in the conventional sense of the word. I didn't have a wild time and decided, Jesus was real. He was always real to me, but so I never backslid or anything like that. It's just that at 15, it became eye-opening what this was that I was a part of, and that's how I wanted to live my life.
Do you think that's because, sorry to interrupt here, because that happened the same with me. I was saved at 8, at 15, more real. Do you think it's because of just a natural maturation of growing up that you become more aware of committing your life to God, or can you have any thoughts on that?
I think so, because at eight, I don't know what I know, but I knew that I wanted, and it wasn't a fear-based thing. I wasn't doing this to please my parents or anything like that. And for me, I think I was on the choir and I was singing "It Is Well With My Soul," and somehow that day, those words pierced me. Like, is it well with my soul? And I could and I started to cry, and I was like, it is well because of what He's done for me. I remember that, and I was like, and I didn't go to a very emotional church or lots of hoopla or anything, so everybody noticed that I was crying. I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. It's well.
And how old were you when your brother died? Approximately.
It was about 10 years ago. So I was about in my 40s. I was in my 40s.
Was it a shock? Was it a shock that he was going to go on?
No, he had scleroderma. The shock was the initial, when he first got the diagnosis, because my brother was like like Arnold Schwarzenegger, big and muscular and buff and everything, and always took care of himself. And he got married, and we never know how he contracted this autoimmune illness, but it was a progressive chain of events. Eventually got a diagnosis. He moved to Florida, and he'd been living with it for a long time. He lived with it much longer than anyone anticipated, because usually you don't live that long with it. It's connective tissue disorder. Eventually everything fails. And that's what happens. His heart and his lungs fail. And so when he died, I'm never expecting death, but it was imminent in his case. And so when he called that last time, I don't know why I knew that this was it. I knew that this was it, because it just sounded different and everything. And I had gotten a chance to see him I think either a couple of months. I had seen him before he died just on a vacation or whatever, and I got a chance to talk with him and so forth and so on. So I was at peace with whatever was going to happen. The sad part is I think it was hard for my mother. I mean, a child dies before her, and I think it was harder for some other parts of my family because it's like they fought it. They didn't expect.
Mm.
His death was so hard for them. I don't really know why. What I do is respect everyone's grieving process, but some of the ugliness that came out of the grief was hard to stomach, because it's like, ultimately, if we're all believers and you believe that God controls life and death, who are you mad at? Who are you angry with? But I get that you have to process your feelings, so you have to let people process.
And your writing, it sounds like your writing was a great healer for you as well as
it was a great healer for me. It was a great, my writing was a healer for me. I realized that I feel like I sometimes express my emotions better on paper than verbally. I guess it depends on what's happening. But at the time, it was like a lot of personalities in my family. I have always been the one that kind of like, I'm the middle child and I don't fight for attention, and I was okay with that. But I just didn't feel like my voice was being heard anyhow. Not that that wasn't the point, but I just wanted to get these feelings out. And so it was best to just get them out on paper, because they were better received on paper than with the people in my family. My husband was trying to understand, but he comes from a family of, it's him and his brother. And I don't know, he's not lost a sibling. He's very supportive, but it just was, he was doing the best he could. But to me, I needed just to get all of those thoughts.
And how long have you been blogging? Do you know what year you started?
Okay, so this is year number 10.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're celebrating. And
I don't even celebrate the blogiversary anymore.
The blogiversary. I think I started in 2008, but I only did it like once a month and wondered why no one was reading. I didn't really understand the whole concept.
I don't think a lot of us did when we started.
No,
I mean, we were just writing. I mean, blogging in the old days some of it was nicer too. But
yeah, so true. Well, we're talking today about making our lives count. And I know you are a woman of the word. You always go to the word first, and you've encouraged me. Sometimes I just say, I think I need to talk to Andree about this. And I call you and you usually pick up, or now we're doing Marco Polo, which is fun. But what legacy overall do you want to pass down to those who know and love you?
All right. So, I didn't get to say this, but I'm going to answer. It's me and my husband, and I have 4 children.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. And grandchildren.
And I have one granddaughter who I see via FaceTime all the time.
Wonderful.
And one of the things, both when my husband is saved, we were saved and we got married. And one of the things for us was, we want to pass down a legacy of faith. And so it's always been, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It's a sign on the door as you enter the house, and it's what we've always wanted. We've always been on the same page with this. But, so that's our desire, but the living it out, well, that's the challenge, obviously. That's the challenge. And I think for me, since you're interviewing me, we have both, what we've learned over the years is to be authentic and open with our faith to our children, really to anyone. So, I don't hide my anger. I don't hide my confusion. I don't hide my doubt. I don't only show the pretty side of being a Christian, because I don't know what that is. There's no pretty side to being a Christian. They get all of me. They see me wrestling with things. They hear my thoughts, so that they can understand that this is also normal. If there's doubt, if there's anything, there's an acknowledgement. They see us praying. We pray together. They see us seeking and searching and going into the Word. What does the Bible say? They see us wrestling and trying to figure things out. I feel like that has been the biggest difference, because
The biggest difference of what?
that's, to me, that's made the impact, because it wasn't like a pretense. It wasn't like this is the best way to go and I'm pretending and I have all the answers. It was really like, God don't need help for you to try and get his children to come and follow him. You be you, you be who he's called you to be. Christ in you will work with the people in your family. They're going to see, they're going to pick up, they're going to hear, they're going to know what they need to know. We're always available as parents. I just like to, I say it like that because all of my children serve the Lord in different capacities. This is their choice, though. They're Christians. They're Christians first and foremost. Yes, everybody's, figuring out their lives and young adults and working and doing all of these things, but they're Christians. And so that's the only thing I can say. I don't have a playbook. This is what you do. You must, we're a Christian family, but I remember our struggle trying to have devotions every night. And it's like, this isn't working. This isn't working. The kids don't stay awake. We're so tired. We've done that. Or, everyone says you're supposed to pray. You're supposed to do all these things, and we try. And it's like, it's not working. It's not working, but God, you know our hearts. You know what we're trying to do. And we continually, make the effort and just do it in a way that makes sense for us. That's always with the Bible as the foundation, and being able to talk and to pray and to seek. So, yeah.
My girlfriend was fond of reminding me that more is caught than taught. And so what your children have caught is an authentic faith. And really that is the best legacy, because even if our children leave God, they'll remember that we didn't. Right. And that they can always come back. Any particular obstacles or challenges that you had to overcome or continue to overcome to make that happen?
Well, life is a long road to hoe. I think it is.
It is.
I don't know. The other day I was thinking, and I was like, a lot of times, especially when you've been a Christian for a long time and you feel like you've gone through the Bible back and front, and you could become pretentious, you could become cocky, you could become prideful, you could think you've arrived. And it's like, I was just humbled, because it's like, Lord, you know what? We never arrive. We don't arrive on this earth. And as long as I remember that I don't know it all, I don't have this Christian life thing figured out. You don't ever figure out faith. You keep doing it every day. It doesn't get, I guess to some it gets easier, but because there's another new experience, it doesn't really get that easier, because it's still the unknown. It's always, you're grappling with the unknown. So you always have to trust God. Does it become easier to trust God? I can't answer that. But you know that this is what you do. You lean on him. You just stay leaning on him. He just asks that we have this little bit of faith, this little tiny bit of faith, and he could do great things in us. And it's like, that humbles me, because it's like, I know the Bible, but I don't know nothing. I don't know anything, because you know what? God is in control. He is in control. I'm not. So that's an obstacle, just to always.
It's almost like we grow up a little bit, and then we're reminded in maybe a painful way that we're not so grown up after all.
We're not so grown after all. And the other obstacle I would say is like, I come from a strict West Indian household, and my parents never apologized for anything, even if they were wrong. And there's spiritual implications there, because I'm like, if I'm wrong in front of my children, I need to be able to do that and let them know I was wrong. Because how am I going to model God's love to them if I don't show grace and show forgiveness and do all of those things? And so it was like relearning some of the things that I had learned growing up. Like, children made me realize that this is how God loves us. I mean, if I do some of the things that were done to me, and I'm not saying my parents were awful, but they did things because that's what they did.
Right.
I don't want to do that just because that's what was done to me. And if there's a spiritual correlation there, let me do something that appears radical and different, if that's what's going to make a difference for me and for my children. And so, again, foundation is scripture, God speaks to me, tells me something, this is the way to do it this way. Listen to what your child is saying. Don't just go along with what you want to do. It might actually work. And so,
What, how do you know that when God is speaking to you? I know that's a universal question for many believers.
I don't know, because I'm not one of those people that says, I know I'm not, I don't, it's not part of my vernacular to walk around and say, well, God told me. I don't, that's not what happens. But sometimes for me, it is a thought, an idea that I know I didn't come up with on my own. Does that make sense? Like
Totally.
I've been praying about something, like what should I do and whatever. How do I approach this? And then out of the blue, it seems, it's like, because I've been thinking about it and praying about it, and it's like, this is the approach. This is what you need to do. And to me, that's not me. I mean, it's coming through me, but it's not me. So that's when I noted, like, this is what I should do, that sort of thing.
I know I felt the Lord telling me something on Monday, pretty sure, because I was praying about it and I got counsel from some friends. And then today I started having doubts about it again. And I thought, wait a minute. Did I not hear God? Can I say that I felt deceived in any way? I thought, no, I have to really believe that God spoke to me, not spoke out loud, but you know what I'm saying.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. When I'm on a path and he's giving me something, then the doubts kind of come. And it's like, okay, now who am I going to listen to? Whose report am I going to believe? The doubt or what I know to be what makes sense? And then I just put the doubt aside. And now I'm saying it like this, but it's not a just thing. And I continue on. And I have some degree of peace and calm and confidence and all the things that people would see and say, you're so sure of yourself. I have a little bit of that, but inside I'm quaking because I'm like,
I think God likes it. Not that we are anxious. I know that we don't please him when we're anxious because we're not trusting him. But I don't think he minds me quaking a little bit, like you mentioned, because it keeps me humble and dependent. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. And we get, like you just started speaking, and I don't think you were nervous, but because you're a natural speaker, but you're going to get even more confident as you have more opportunities after this sheltering at home is over. And yet each time, I've been speaking 20 years, I still want to be so totally dependent on the Lord because that's who does the actual work in me, through me, and in the lives of my hearers. So even those who are listening today, Andree and I have nothing particularly special to share other than we are pilgrims in a pilgrim way, and we're just leaning on God daily. And I hope that's an encouragement to our listeners. What do you think?
Yeah, I hope so too, because I mean, even now in light of the pandemic and coronavirus, I mean, God is all we got. That's all we have. We're here, everybody's trying to struggle and figure out what day is it and what are we doing next and what's the new normal. I don't have the answers to that. And it's like, if I start listening to all the things that people say, I will be more anxious. I will be more confused and so I make a choice to just like, not to put my head in the sand, but to like focus on what he wants me to learn in this time period. And there's always something. And when I was walking the other day, I said, what if I am being fortified right now? What if I'm being strengthened for the next challenge ahead? What if this is a preparation for something else? What if being forced to do things differently, being forced to spend more time in his word, being forced to be still, being forced to be around the people that what if it's preparation for something else? Why don't I treat it like that instead of, acting like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. In my human sense, sometimes I get like, oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. What day it is? I go for a drive, but because I'm human. But the whole, like, Lord, what are you teaching me? And I came up with fortification. He's trying to strengthen me. He's trying to make me stronger, mold me into something, mold me into his character. And so that's what I'm believing, and that's how I'm living, during this time.
I think that's so great. I wrote something the other day about, let's don't waste this time, because once it's over, we're going to try to go back to normal, and we'll stop listening to God perhaps quite so clearly because we've been frustrated. And maybe I've told you earlier, I felt a little listless at times, like, oh, is there really anything worthwhile that I'm going to do today? And yeah, I thought, oh, let's pay attention to God even more. Like what you're saying, you're being fortified. Our faith is being fortified when we're forced to lean on him. And I think that's a beautiful way to, close up this interview for one thing. But I want you to share the two books, one that you're almost completed with, and then one that you wrote earlier. Could you just give the titles and what their topics are?
Okay.
The first one.
Geez, I just drew a blank. Hold on.
Your ebook that you offer on your website.
I know. Oh my goodness. Oh, age is taking over me.
It's okay. I'm older than you are, so that's okay. We'll put it in show notes. You were just telling me about your newest one, and it's
okay. I got it.
Oh, okay.
The ebook. I wrote this book. It was called My Best Marriage Advice.
How
to Thrive in Your Marriage, and it was inspired because at the time my daughter was getting married, and she said, and I quote, that she looks up to us as marriage models. And I said to my husband, Garth, she looks up to us. But you know that we still argue. But I said, no, seriously, there must be something to this. We're still here. We're still standing. Because I make fun of it,
Yeah, of course.
Or whatever. Let me just take all the things that she has said to me and put them in this ebook about marriage. Because this year is 31 years. I know I look 30, but
of course you do.
So I wrote that book, and it was the first time I did it. And I actually wrote it because Sue encouraged me to write an ebook. She said, this should be an ebook. And I said, ebook? What's that? Okay.
Me? I encouraged you?
Yes, you did. You don't even remember.
I don't remember that. I feel so good. I did something.
You said this should be an ebook, because I was writing all of these blog posts about marriage. And you said, you should write an ebook about marriage. And I said,
kind of remember that now.
And I said,
I'm going to take some credit here.
Yes. And I said, you should have seen me afterwards. I was like, ebook.
What's that?
What's that? Maybe I can write an ebook. And I Googled everything, and I found out about Amazon and self-publishing and all the other stuff. And I said, oh. And I said, okay, I did it. I did that ebook. But I'm like, I'm not a marriage writer.
No,
okay. I don't want to write about,
But the best testimonial is your daughter. So
yes,
that's better than any stranger, because they've seen your marriage up close.
She's like, I was like, wow. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And this book, the second book that I have been working on, is called The Comfort of Night.
I love that title.
And hopefully it will be published by in the summer, June, July of 2020. And when it comes out, I will be sure to let Sue know so that she can share with her with her readers also. But
do you have any closing wisdom you want to share with our audience today? It's been delightful to talk to you, by the way.
I don't know. What closing wisdom do I have? Listen, I heard something this morning. Sometimes you're too big for God to use, but you're never too small for God to use.
Oh, I love that.
I heard that this morning. I was like, yes. You know what? Make yourself available. You never know. God has birthed you with gifts and talents. Some of them seem big, some of them seem small, but none of them are inconsequential in the kingdom, especially if another person comes to know him because of what he's given to you. So just keep yourself available, be open to whatever he's called you to do. Let him work in you. Let him work in you.
Great. And if anybody would like to contact Andree to speak at your MOPS group or any other group, you can see her contact information in our show notes. Thanks so much. You're delightful. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.